All right.
What it do, Mooncalfs?
What it do?
Tell us about your mother. We're here to talk about the mental health. That is our subject today.
Yep.
And that entails a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's kind of
all over the place. There's a few things that brought this up. Bo Bandy here is doing a sleep study, and that is one thing that kind of sparked this conversation. And amongst other things, your boy Pirate Steve's been having some issues with his bipolar. He's got to get back on some meds, so we got a lot in that area to talk about.
Yeah, there's
mental health wise, and we just thought it was a really important subject because something we deal with every day.
Yeah,
all of us have mental health as an aspect in our life, one way or another, whether you admit it or not, or like it all matters. Your mental health matters totally.
Oh yeah,
if you're stressed out. It's harder for me to get stuff done when I'm stressed out.
Oh man, I get almost nothing done.
Yeah, I mean, I just shut down. I'm just like, ugh.
When my depression hits really bad, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to
lay in bed all fucking day.
Exactly, and if I even attempt to do something, I feel like I'm going to fail at it,
Yeah.
even if it's the most simplest of tasks.
Yeah,
it seems as though I'm not going to achieve it to the height in which I feel I could do it.
Yeah, and if you can't, then it's not even worth it.
Exactly.
And
the thing is, it could be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I feel that in my soul. Your head just won't let you carry things out. Like, I know, dealing with bipolar, I get really fucking paranoid, and I just think really unrealistic shit. Like, oh, they're all fucking talking about me. Like, no, dude. It's not always the case. It's just my head telling me that, and it just feels so, like real. Like you guys have to be fucking talking about me. Why wouldn't you be, is kind of like what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And your mind just goes faster than you can process it.
Yeah, with my depression, because with me it's major depressive with mixed features, which means I'm major depressive, but I'm borderline bipolar.
Yeah, you're still kind of moody.
Yeah, I still have those. And you can ask my wife. Really big points of manic, where I'm like, oh my god, I got to do this, and I get excited, and I'm like, I'm gonna do, and I get impulsive.
Conquer the world.
Yeah, so I've been a little bit manic. I gotta figure out how this tongue works. I know how this tongue works. You can ask my wife how I do.
He knows what
I know what this tongue does. Oh god! All right, but yes, I've been a little bit manic today and impulsive. Like I got so excited about this podcast, this. I think it's just the vlog, or more or less, it's the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
We are no longer doing the podcast, but my mental break is like, oh, I get excited. I got to do something right now. Right now, I got to do something. So we're trying to figure out the whole camera situation. I just dropped money on a 4K camcorder just now because I got manic, and I'm like, ooh, oh my god, this is going to make this, and that's my issue, is like this one special thing is somehow making everything else perfect.
Yeah.
And
I get that. I go through that too, but my thing is, I know it's such a thing where I won't even let myself buy shit I need.
Yeah.
Or I just won't spend money at all because my bipolar ass will go out and spend all of our fucking money.
Yeah.
And so everybody looks at me like, oh, Steve, you're such a fucking cheap ass, because I know once I start spending money, I won't want to stop.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of my job in my household, is to make sure we don't run out of money.
Yeah.
And, it's just something I knew I had, so I just preemptively am like, no.
Yeah.
Fuck no. Like, I won't allow myself to have credit cards and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because I just know it's such a thing. And it is an impulse. When I get upset or something, I want to buy shit. Like, you get ramped up, you just...
Yeah. Oh, man. With me, with the recent smell that I just made, for the people that don't know, I have my own beard company, which makes beard products.
Damn good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
good products.
I get so excited about smells or new names and new like things to do that I'm willing to just spend money to make them happy because I'm like, ooh, this is going to be perfect. This is going to be great. Everyone's going to buy the shit out of it. And it's like, no, stop, Randy. Like, I had this really great smelling soap, and I love the smell of this soap. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get the ingredients for this, or the scents for this soap, and I'm going to make a beard oil that smells just like it. I'm like, I got to do it. I'm doing it. So and then I'm like going crazy looking for the right, oils and the right scents and everything like that, and then trying to mix them together to make that. And I'm like, I get so manic.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
I get unnecessarily excited about things that I shouldn't get excited about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I'll do that too, and sometimes in like a bad way.
Yeah.
And like the worst thing you can do to somebody that's like in a manic state is to tell them to calm down.
Yeah.
It's the worst fucking thing you can do, because we're gonna freak the fuck out. Calm? I'm fucking calm. You need to fucking calm down. That's what you're gonna do.
It's like because you're so elevated.
Yeah.
It's like you're not necessarily happy, but you feel like you're kind of. If I'm like energetic and up, then my brain understands that as, oh, well, if I'm up, then clearly I'm happy.
Yeah.
So if I'm happy and you're not letting me enjoy my up, you're not letting me be happy. And I'm like, no, when I'm up, I get fucking... I talk way too goddamn loud.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I go on for fucking ever. I impulsively do shit. And then I get locked. Like my brain is stuck. And it won't focus on anything else. It won't do... I just...
fixated.
Yeah, I get so hyper-focused on one thing. And I build up that one thing to like... And like somehow this one thing is the answer to like everything.
And when that shit doesn't work out, you're fucking crushed.
Oh my god, the low you get when that happens.
I feel the same way. I get that all the time.
It's fucking unbelievable.
I couldn't even like write lyrics anymore, like just because I had such a... I was in a situation where I was like kind of forced almost to write lyrics, like you better have those fucking done. And so it's like I kind of had to like push lyrics out of me where it's way more comfortable when they just come to me and then I jot them down.
Yeah.
Where I was in a situation like, we need this amount of songs, they need to be done by this amount of time, and it just made... that pressure was just immense.
Oh yeah.
And by the time I was done with that demo, I never wanted to write another fucking song again.
Yeah.
Because it was just like ruined for me.
Oh yeah.
Like to the point where it did not feel like something I did for myself. It felt like a fucking job.
Yeah.
And I know that's like the dream for it to become a job, but in the same sense, like I cannot write my best music if I'm forced to fucking do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I just can't. Just doesn't work out. So I write my first set of lyrics.
You can't manufacture inspiration.
Yeah. And you can't. You just can't. But I wrote my first set of lyrics for the first time in like 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm just like, oh my god, they're going to judge me. They're going to hate it. And like even slightest bit of criticism, like, oh fuck, I fucked up. Like, I'm never going to do this again. Like, that's that depression talking, man. Like,
oh yeah.
You just have to push through it and the best you can, and that is so fucking hard.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Like it's better now. Like it's now I have a decent grasp on my depression.
Yeah.
But before any of this, I would, like, 3 years ago, oh my goodness, I would lose my mind over it. I would bury myself in thoughts and just, like, if one little thing went wrong, I would obsess over it all day and just beat myself up with it. Like, I would use it just to beat myself up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, why am I doing this? Or I'll have pretend conversations in my head, but it's always like, I would have hypothetical situations in my head because my brain would put negative thoughts in there, and then negative situations, and then I would obsess over those negative situations, and I would feel emotions about a situation that's not even real.
Yeah.
It's like that, none of this is happening, but I'm getting mad out of nowhere just thinking about it.
Oh yeah,
like,
you're working yourself up.
Exactly.
I do that all the time, and like it gets really bad. I'll get like intrusive thoughts where like I'm thinking about doing something fucking horrible, and I'm even going, "Whoa, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you think that? Why would you want to do something like that?" And it's just, you're so fucking emotional, like you can't even control how you feel.
Yeah.
Like, me having intrusive thoughts of killing people, I don't want to fucking kill anybody, but like I get so upset, I feel like I could.
Yeah.
And the intrusive thoughts get really intense.
Yeah.
To the point where I fucking hate myself because I thought something so heinous that if someone else told me I want to do this, I'd be like, you sick fuck.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm not going to go into any detail about what those thoughts are because it's just shit that doesn't even need to be said.
Yeah.
It's just, I get so upset that I just feel like I don't have another choice or something. Like, I think I'm telling people what's wrong, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really not. Like, it's not even the head of the iceberg.
Yeah.
And I think I'm asking for help, but I'm really not. Like, your head will do shit to you like that, where you think you've shown plenty of signs to people that they should know what's wrong with you, but they don't get it because you're not spelling it out for them.
Yeah.
People aren't mind readers, and we have to remind ourselves that like, just because you feel something so intense doesn't mean everyone in the room knows it.
Yeah, yeah, it's because it's all in here.
Yeah.
And even if your face is displaying something, no one can necessarily be like, that guy is, I need to,
he's struggling, I need to talk to that dude. Like, I think it should be obvious to people the shit I deal with, but it's not. People see this big, jolly, happy guy laughing all the time. They don't think, oh, he really suffers from bipolar really bad.
Yeah.
And some people don't even think it's a fucking problem. They're like, oh, you're just making shit up. And like, dude, I would agree, but I can't argue that my symptoms are like 10 for 10. Like, I can't argue when, like, I would love to think that I'm completely in control of my psyche and everything that involves that, but I'm fucking not.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like, most people really aren't. And if you think you don't have some kind of mental problem, you probably have the fucking worst one out of us all.
Just because you're, like, repressing.
Yeah.
Repress. No, this doesn't exist. And, like, you allow it, and it's just, like, it's because you don't allow it to, like, kind of breathe air and let it get, like, you're just, like, and it's just gonna, like, you die of an fucking embolism, and you're just gonna be like,
yeah, and you think it should just be obvious to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not.
No, not at all.
Not at all. And most of the time, we don't notice there's something wrong until it's too fucking late.
Yeah.
And, the truth is, like, good friends ask me all the time, like, why don't you just come to me? Why don't you just come to me and ask me? Dude, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I physically can't tell you how the fuck this feels because there's no words to describe it. There's, like, I could try until I'm blue in the face, and you'll never understand, and you'll think that you being there should be enough for me, and it's not. Like,
yeah, that's one of the it's not necessarily selfish because they're trying to help.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that, and I had to check that about myself, is that
depression's not the same thing as being sad.
Yeah.
Like,
and you think, like, we have these ideas of ourselves that, like, oh, well, it happens in relationships. It's like, oh, what, am I not enough?
Yeah.
Am I not? What? It's like,
not about you at
it's
all.
not about you.
Yeah.
It's about the way it's affecting me.
Yeah.
So some people are like, hey, look, you can talk to me anytime. It's like, yeah, I can talk to you, but then it's like, if you don't, then it's like, what, you can't tell me? It's like, dude, it's not about that.
Well, and even
plus,
if
you tell someone, you feel so guilty. You feel like they wouldn't understand, or they will overjudge you about everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, why open up to someone who's just and
just at the end of the day, it's not going to help.
Yeah.
Me telling you how I feel, you're just gonna look at me like, what? And I'm gonna be frustrated because I'm no closer to the solution I need.
Yeah.
And telling you helped absolutely nothing. It only stressed us both out.
Yeah. I've been in those situations.
Like, even the people that are the best people to talk to, I've been in these situations. Like, my mom is, like, my best friend, and I can tell her anything. And there's even times where I'm trying to tell her how I feel, but she's getting frustrated because she doesn't understand. She's trying really hard to help me, and nothing is working, and we're both getting frustrated because she's trying her hardest to help me, and nothing's working, so I'm getting frustrated. So really, therapists, guys, like psychiatrists, like, see people that are trained. Try not to push your problems onto people that are not qualified to handle them.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
they can be there for you.
Yeah.
They can support, but don't expect them to cure you.
Yeah. It's
and vice versa. Don't expect, like, to heal the person that's inflicted, because it's such a fucking deep wound. It needs a professional.
Yeah.
It needs professional attention.
I didn't give therapists enough credit when I was younger.
And
my God,
your
when I was
boyfriends and girlfriends aren't going to solve 20, 30 years worth of trauma.
Yeah.
And mental health issues.
Yeah.
They could be a wonderful person, but unless they're a fucking therapist, they probably can't, like, give you all the things you need. Like, I should be on medication, and I think after this episode, I'm definitely going to get back on it.
Yeah, I found a decent medication regimen that works.
And
well
it works,
for me.
like, almost the same shit works for me too.
Yeah.
And I've known it. I've been neglecting my own mental health.
Yeah.
And don't do that, folks. Like, if you need something or, like, anything, like, get it.
Yeah.
Self-care,
seriously,
guys. Like,
I'll say the last, not just 2 years, I would say probably last 2 years, maybe last 2 years and a half or something like that, I've been putting heavy focus on my mental health.
Yeah, that's important.
Like, and my emotional well-being.
I've finally been coming back to that. Like, it's been an on-off struggle for me for my whole life, but I know now I need that help.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can hold my own weight for so long.
Yeah.
But eventually it just becomes too much to take. Like, I'm sometimes begging my fiance to help me, and she can't.
Yeah,
she fucking can't. My mom can't help me. My best friends can't help me. Only I can help me. I need to get the help I need.
And for me, it's about understanding.
Yeah.
And you know what? I try to tell my mom the same thing, but she just gives me the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
My mom's dead.
Well, very cold shoulder.
Yeah, my mom's dead.
Yeah. Thanks for
I
thanks for doing that to me. Torturing me with your dead mom.
No, I like torturing everyone with my dead mom. I love her to death, but I know I just love making jokes about it because that's
Does
how.
it
that's how
help
it
you cope?
Yes.
I know using a dark sense of humor can help me a lot.
It helps me tremendously. If I'm in the hospital, I'm awful in the hospital. Like, if I'm in the hospital
he's
with
dead
anyone,
on his feet.
I'm cracking jokes.
Yeah.
The entire fucking with doctors and nurses, just making jokes and the entire time.
I think it's a good coping mechanism, but maybe some people wouldn't agree. Maybe it's not always appropriate. But
when my mom died, the night she died in the old folks home, she wasn't old. She had Huntington's chorea, and she ended up dying. And we showed up. And, I was all, my mom's dead. And then I decided to start walking around. And the coroner was like, hey, do you need anything from her right now? He's like, yeah, I want the rings because I'm giving them to my granddaughter. And he's like, okay, so they're trying to get the rings off. And this girl I was dating at the time, she was trying to, get the rings off. And I don't know what happened in my brain. But something clicked and was just a case of the fuck arounds just poked in, and it was like I creeped up behind her, and I go, "Oh, she's alive!" And she's like, "Ah!" She about pissed her pants, and my dad's like, "Randy, that's not funny," and I'm laughing my ass
I'll
off.
tell you what happened. You saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
You saw an opportunity. That's what happened.
My mom has always been a jokester.
Yeah.
She's always played pranks. She's always had fun. She always liked to fuck with people. Same with my dad. That's just how I was raised as a kid, was to have a serious case of the fuck arounds. And it's always a little dark. But at the same time, it's just, that's how I get through it.
My family's just a bunch of smart asses.
Yeah.
we're just sarcastic. It's not a whole lot of pranking. I was like one of the only real pranksters, like maybe me and my cousin Tiffany, but like there wasn't a whole lot of those shenanigans. My grandma didn't have patience for that kind of shit.
Yeah. Oh god.
She'd kick our asses if we tried to prank her.
Did I tell the Razor Ramon story on
Yeah.
I did? Okay.
I don't know if we got the whole thing or not, but
if we got the
whole story, because I don't remember if it got cut off or not. I remember.
Yeah, it was during one of those rough episodes where we were having problems recording.
I think that might have been a different story. You might have got the full Ramon.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'm going to tell it again.
Yeah,
I'm just recap. But I was maybe about 3 or 4 years old. I would say maybe like 3.5 at the oldest. And I was asleep in the living room. My dad would always have these drunken parties with a bunch of friends coming over, having fun. And at one point, my dad wakes me up and goes, "Randy, Razor Ramon's here to kill you." And I'm like, "Huh? What? Why?" And he disappears. He just leaves. He doesn't try to help. He just goes. And then here comes his friend, drunk, kind of looks like Razor Ramon, and he's like,
enough to be convincing.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey yo,
to a little kid.
hey yo, I'm gonna kill you. I'm the bad guy." And I'm like, "Ah!" And I piss my pants, and I'm like, "Ah, no, don't kill me, Razor Ramon." And then my dad comes in, just laughing his ass off, fucking, "All right, go to bed." And I'm like, that's not the first time he's done something like that to me. So it's like that darker side has just always kind of stuck with me. So I make jokes whenever I can, just because that's just how I get through it.
Yeah, that's normal.
But like when I was,
is for me.
Yeah, it's that's just what it is. But like I remember, I've been going to therapy since I was like 7 years old, on and off from like the age of 7 to 13, and then so many times since
very
then.
similar in my case.
And I think I was given medicine first when I was 13 years old, and it worked. It worked. And I'm like, hey, I'm cured. I'm fine. I don't need this medicine
Stop
anymore. Bye-bye medicine.
Happens to me almost every time I get on it.
Yeah. I was like, hey, oh, wow, I'm better now. I don't need medicine. And then I leave it, and I'm like, fuck, I was on like this huge anti-medicine kick for so long.
Yeah, I was too.
I would say to my like mid-20s, I was on this huge like anti-meds
Don't
kick.
give your fucking kids meds.
I'm like, I mean, not so much for other people, but for me personally, I'm like, fuck your kids, you do what you want with them. But
fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids, you do what you want with them. But for me, I was like, fuck that shit, I don't need that. I'm strong mentally. And I'm like, and my brain's like, no, you're not. No. People who are good mentally don't do the things you do.
Right.
So, and make the horrible choices. So I'm like, all right. After a while, I understood that, like, I need medicine.
Yeah.
I need it. And it's not I guess it's weird using words like need and dependency, and kind of makes it, but I'm like, I'm still me. I'm still who I am as a person. I'm just...
It just helps you function.
It does. Oh, it just helps you, like, it takes for me personally, it takes the edge off. So, like, when I get, and this is the thing that comes with therapy, because I made it a joke my whole life, and I'm like, I mean, I wanted help, I did, but they would like give me exercises, or they would give me like worksheets and stuff like that, and I'm like, exercises, worksheets, I know the reason for this, why am I doing this? So like, all right, write down all the things you like about yourself and all the things you don't like about yourself. And they were like, why are you like, what do you feel? I feel like I'm a piece of shit. Why do you feel like you're a piece of shit? I don't know. All right, well, write down all the reasons you think you're a piece of shit. And I'm like, I get what you're doing. What you're trying to do is have me backtrack my process and my thinking pattern. So, okay, why am I a piece of shit? Well, you have no reasons to think you're a piece of shit. So if you can't think of a reason why you're a piece of shit, then you're not a piece of shit, because you have no evidence to back up the fact that you're a piece of shit. And it's like, and I understood that, but I didn't let it sink into my brain for me to be like, oh, I'm not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I have no proof that I'm as awful as I feel on the inside, or as awful as my brain is making me feel. So I just played it off. I'm like, whatever. I was big into talk therapy, but I never did the work myself.
Yeah.
I never put in the work and the understanding. And then after a while, I finally started doing that. I learned...
You're not just going through the motions. You're actually doing it.
I'm learning coping techniques, how to handle certain situations, how to... If a depressive episode happens, how to handle it, or how to let your brain process it. And that's the thing that's helped me today, is seriously, and a couple of years ago, I actually graduated therapy. They were like, Randy, you have a good grasp on what's going on. And I'm like, I'm not ever not depressed. I still get depressed. I still have really bad depression episodes.
It's just knowing how to deal with it.
It's just knowing how to...
And recognizing it when it's happening.
Yes.
Because that's really the hardest part for me sometimes, is like, you know, I kind of just denied, like, oh, I'm not fucking bipolar. Not like really, like, specifically saying that, just kind of like treating it like that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And it really fucking snuck up on me.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, this is still a reality.
Yeah.
And like, that's what makes me realize that I need help.
Yeah. Well, I realized people are like, hey, Randy, normal people don't think like this.
Yeah.
Or they're like, you keep making these
I realized,
choices, or you keep reacting this way to stuff, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
And it just comes back to my fucking, major depression with mixed features.
When people used to tell me I would overreact, I'd just be like fuck you, like it's my reaction. But like now I can kind of see it, like getting mad because they didn't have the fucking sandwich I've been thinking of all day or something. Like my thing is I'll asphyxiate on this one thing, and I just want that. I don't want anything else. Like I just want to go home and smoke or something, and like, or I just want to, I don't know, just want to get drunk or whatever. Like, and it's not even that ever. It's like I just want this one thing. I want this one food item, or I want this one game, and that's all I want. I don't want anything else.
You build it up so much in your head, and
I just want this, and then I'll be fine. And then, and almost 100% of the fucking time, you can't get it.
Yeah.
For one reason or another. Like the other month, it was that 70s show.
Mm-hmm.
I just fucking, for some reason, I had to have that 70s show. And you know, at first it just started as, oh, I kind of want that. That would be cool to have on DVD. And then I was like, oh man, I really want this. And I kept going back to the store like every day, hoping they would have it. No, not restock. And I started getting fucking upset.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have this shit. And it's just because you think that one thing is going to make everything fucking better for some reason. Like, I'll have a shit day, and all I want is to eat. I just want my meal.
Yeah.
That's all I fucking want. I just want a decent fucking meal. I've had a shit day. I just want to eat. And if I don't get that, and I'm like, someone's fucking with me, I'll just snap.
Yeah.
I'll just fucking snap. Because I feel like the whole world is fucking with me.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just how you feel. You're just that irritated where every little poke and prod just feels like spears. Like, you feel like everyone, like my bipolar, I feel like everyone has something against me. I feel like everyone fucking hates me.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's like, if I really sat down and thought of a reason, I don't fucking have one.
Yeah.
It's just what your head does.
Exactly.
You make shit up, and you don't even realize you're making shit up.
Like, what helped me, and I tell this story to anyone who will listen, honestly, because for me, and it may not be for everyone, but for me, this one night was a life changer. Like, legit, like, eye-opening, like, oh, like, all the synapses were finally clicking, everything. All the puzzle pieces were coming together.
Chakras were aligned.
Yeah, the chakras were aligned. Chakras were fucking exploding
everywhere.
And you didn't fucking do this.
Tenacious D quote.
Yeah. Oh man, you watched that like yesterday.
Watch it like every day.
Right? Oh god. But
comfort movie.
Yeah, it really is. So I was meditating one night, and I was just putting on some, like, with me, I don't meditate to regular music or like regular like India shit. I put on this really crazy like black metal.
I really relate. Mastodon's my meditation music, because it still kind of has like a sereneness to it, but it also has like that emotional heaviness that I feel inside. Yeah, like I totally get that. Yeah, it's just
sometimes
your peace is not found in everyone else's peace.
Exactly.
I feel like that's kind of how us metalheads are. Is like we find a sereneness, we find some kind of peace in that chaos. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about that music that speaks to me. Yeah. On a very personal level.
Like, and this is going to sound really weird. I wasn't looking for a light or like, because it's like a light feeling. Mm-hmm. I was going for dark. Yeah. I wanted to dive into the darkness. And that's what happened. I like dove into this dark feeling. I had this just creepy, dark, like evil music playing, and I'm just like breathing it in, and it felt like I was just finding my place in this darker, more like weird area. It's hard to describe. And then in there was the light, like legit through there. I found this one thing, and this understanding helped. And I know it's not going to help everyone, but it helped me. And what it was...
It's just finding your truth.
Yeah. And my truth was... Because my issue was I always hated myself.
Yeah.
Always hated myself.
I do too. Really badly.
But I had the issue of like making everyone seem like I love myself. Because when I was in high school, particularly, I was like, oh my God, I'm like a god. I was so fucking conceited and
I think a lot of us are at that age.
Yeah.
And I was very full of myself and thought I thought I had it all figured out.
Yeah.
And
well, it was a false sense of
security.
Yeah. It was not sincere. No. I didn't love myself. I hated myself. And I always thought I was like a piece of shit and I'm an awful person and I'm doing bad and everything. Because when you're depressed, you're dragged down into this just awful sadness, and then all these negative things kick up. Yeah. And then since it's like a weird like association where you connect your negative feelings and then this emotion to reality or to yourself.
Yeah.
If I'm this sad or I feel this miserable or I feel like I'm a piece of shit, then I must be a piece of shit. Because, that feeling connects me to this. But what helped me was realize, hey, Randy, it's just a chemical imbalance.
Yeah.
It's just a chemical in your brain that you're not getting enough of. So it's simple enough, but what that made me realize is that just because I have that chemical balance and I feel like I'm a piece of shit and I'm the worst human being in the world, that does not, that's not a reflection.
It's not reality.
Yeah, it's not reality. It's not a reflection on who I am as a person. It's not a reflection on where I am in life. I'm not failing in life. I'm not, an awful person. I'm not a, piece of shit. Just because I feel sad and awful it's just an understanding. So when I would get super depressed and dragged down, I would see it because I would start to think negative. And I'm like, okay, this is just my brain telling me how awful I am. So it's just trying to block that out and see, I'm like, all right, so even though my brain might still try to tell me these things, I don't have that emotional connection to my brain telling me that. So I'm not like, oh yeah, like I don't let it dig further down. My hole doesn't get deeper and I don't just beat myself senseless with negativity. I'm just like, okay, I see what's going on. I'm upset. So I know, okay, I need to approach things differently throughout the day. Yeah. So I know, I'm super depressed. If someone says something to me, I need to realize, maybe they didn't mean it that way because I am depressed, so I may be a little sensitive. Yeah. And it's like, once I made that connection, I was able to see the pattern and like the matrix came together and I was able to see like, okay, this is how you handle this. This is how, when you have your manic episodes, which I still have a hard time managing, honestly. But my depressive episodes are very different. So I learn how to handle those. And I learn like, hey, I actually love who I am as a person. I like where I am in life. I like, even though I may not have a whole lot, I can see and go, hey, look, not a lot of people have this. Or, I have this because I work. I have a decent job. Not a lot of people are lucky enough to have that. Yeah. Yay, that's good. So it's like finding these little joys in life and these little moments that you start to appreciate. And for me, that's helped, not cured my depression, but that has helped me manage it. Yeah. So, and like I said,
and sometimes it's hard to remind yourself the good things about you.
It is.
Like, it's easy for me to go, Randy, you're such a fucking good-looking dude. You're such a nice, sweet guy. You're so talented. Like, I could think of a million fucking nice things to say about you, but like that'd probably be a lot harder for you to do for you. Yeah, it is for me. Like, if anyone called me good-looking, I'm like, you're fucking lying. I'm not good-looking, and like, when people tell me things like, Steve, you're a great guitar player, I feel like they're fucking lying to me. And like, when I play with people, I'm waiting for them to figure out I'm just a big fucking fraud.
And that's
I'm waiting for you to figure out like Steve's not as good as I think he is. Like
that's the way I feel about a lot of situations.
I'm
It's
just
like
waiting to be found out. Like,
people realize, like, oh, he's not really that good at this, or he's not really good at that.
And
that's,
I'm not.
That's why I was so scared to
Yeah.
sing at our practices, because they'd be like, "Hey, Randy's not really that great as a singer.
And
what the hell are we doing?" So I'm just like,
and I'm awestruck. I'm like, this dude's the one. This dude's the shit. This is the guy I want to do music with, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, he's played with someone better than me. I know he has. Like, don't fucking do that to yourself if you can help it, because it's just you. It's Randy doesn't think I fucking suck on guitar.
He fucking shreds. He fucking shreds.
I might, but and I didn't think he sucked at all. I thought he was fucking fantastic. Like, your nerves will do that shit to you, and like, if you've been through any kind of abuse, that'll do it too. Like, I hate to say this, but my dad was kind of a fucking narcissist, and he never did anything wrong. Everything was my fault, and he would belittle me to the point where he would just call me I'm a little kid. I'm like an 8-year-old kid being called a worthless little motherfucker. Like this far away from my face, screaming as loud as he can. Like, my dad did not hit me a lot. He hit me like one time.
Yeah.
And like, it was the fucking verbal abuse that sticks with me. To this day, I hear his voice in my head going, "You worthless motherfucker, you stupid piece of shit."
Yep. That was, for me, that was it. It was with, like, me and my dad are on a whole nother level now.
It's good that you got to heal.
Yeah, I was
tried
able
to do
get
that
over
with my dad.
But that's what it was for me. It was just my dad my whole life telling me I'm worthless. I'll never amount to nothing. I'm fucking stupid. And I can't do. I'll be downstairs in the basement just trying to sing my heart out just to try to feel better. It's like, you fucking sound like shit. You need to fucking get. And I'm like, this too? Like, fuck. But so it's one of those things that like echoes, and I think that was one of those things that kept me hurting me throughout the years.
I would write stories and show them to my dad, and he would be like, why are you writing fiction? This is so fucking stupid. Why aren't you writing something applicable? Why aren't you writing a textbook, basically? Why aren't you writing a history book? And he'd tell me things like, why aren't you a lawyer? Why aren't you a doctor? Because, motherfucker, you didn't raise a doctor. You raised a fucking musician. You put a fucking Gibson on my lap when I wasn't even 1 year old.
Yeah.
It's all I've ever fucking seen in my head. Like, ever since I can remember, that's all I've wanted to do.
Yeah.
Was play guitar. And, like, it hurts for someone that created you and gave you that love to tell you it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't do it. You should do something more useful. Like, dude, this is what you taught me.
Yeah.
This is what you gave me. You feel like you don't belong. You feel like you're a mistake. Because, like, that just meant that my fucking dad hated that about himself.
Yeah.
That's really what it was, is he didn't understand why he couldn't be a fucking lawyer and make a bunch of money. And why did he have to be a guitar player?
Yeah.
Well, dude, we don't pick who we are.
That's true.
And if I could talk to my dad right now, I'd tell him, I love you, dude. You fucked me up, but I forgive you. And that's all I really have to say about that. Just treat each other good, man. Don't put each other down. Like, that poison is in me now.
Yeah.
Where, like, I get upset. I do it to other people. You're fucking worthless. You're fucking stupid. Dude, try to end that cycle.
And that's one of those things
I need to try to end that cycle.
I tried to break that. I try to be I mean, I try to be somewhat realistic, but I try my best to support my girls when they're like, hey, I love doing this. And I'm like, you do it. You do it to the best of your ability.
The hell
I love you. You're going to be great.
My mom has been nothing but supportive my entire life. And she has even gone, dude, you need practice.
Yeah.
But that's support.
You can keep going.
A nice view right now of Bo Bandy's ass. But like I was saying, I was encouraged by my mom and completely discouraged by my dad. That sent all kinds of mixed fucking signals.
Yeah.
And like maybe that was a problem. My parents didn't communicate. Like, so I was being taught two different ways. And that was really confusing. My mom was super lax. My dad was super strict. Mm-hmm. And my dad, like, had a history with drugs and all kinds of shit. And I understand why he was strict. He didn't want me to be like him.
Yeah.
And all it did was push me away.
Yeah.
Because and he'd always tell me, oh, you should have had Frank. You should have had my dad. It's that cycle. Like, just because you're less of a piece of shit than your dad doesn't mean you're not a piece of shit at all, and you're not treating me like shit, you know, like, it's a struggle. It makes me not want to have children.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid that I'm going to be the same way.
I've been so stuck on, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a father, like, since I was so young. I've always wanted to be a dad, just because I'm, like, I want to be there for someone, and I want to be able to support them, and I want to raise them not like my dad was raised me. And so far I feel like I'm doing okay. Like, I'm not perfect by any means.
You're a fucking awesome dad to me, man.
I try to do what I can, and that's the thing that really keeps me going, is to try to give my children that life that I couldn't, or that love and support that, you know, if I think they need work and stuff like that, I'm like, it's really good. I think you need to practice a little more, but you know what? You keep trying. Don't give up.
That's encouragement.
I try to encourage them.
That's what my mom did.
Going, and it's one of those things that, and never would I ever talk to my girls the way my dad talked to me.
When I thought I was Yngwie Malmsteen on guitar, and just because I could barely play It Smells Like Teen Spirit, my mom's like, dude, you need to work on that. like, it's cool you learn a song, but you need to work on that. And, you know, and I was like, oh, like, because I thought I was the shit. And then she just kind of knocked me off that pedestal a little bit. And then I'm like, she's right. I do need practice. And I just kept getting better and better and better. And, like, before you knew it, I was far beyond what I started with.
Oh, yeah.
I was
shreds.
I went from playing Smells Like Teen Spirit to, like, I don't know, Death Clock. Like, you stick to something long enough, you'll see results.
Yeah.
May not always be the results you want, but
that's the thing, that if you apply, and I just said that's the thing like 3 times in a row. Holy shit.
We probably said that a lot throughout the course of this, but that is the thing.
I think if you're able to apply these factors to other things in your life, like the way you didn't give up and kept trying with guitar and realizing, hey, there's setbacks, but I can make progress. Yeah.
It just means
applying that to your mental health.
Yeah.
So that way you can see, oh, I'm not perfect, but I'm better than I was when I was here.
Fuck yeah.
And then it's just slowly making that that dedication of like practice, getting better, having a fallback, having your rough days, but always trying and striving for that next day to be better.
And give yourself a little credit too, man, because like just having a little, like I have no self-esteem, none, and I'm really trying to like remedy that with at least just knowing there's some good things about me. Like, I have a really bad temper, but I can be proud that I have had the control that I've had without zero medication. Yeah. And that's, I think I have no self-control, but I actually have a fuck ton. I I know when I'm having a weak moment and I need to be away from people.
Yeah.
To make sure nothing bad happens.
And that's always important.
Yeah.
To know, like, all right, I got to walk away right now because this isn't going to be good for me or another person.
That's why I need to be treated again, because then I can be in those situations and not have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
That's a big problem. Is I do have to have foresight, and I do have to have the just know-how that, okay, I'm ramping up.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't go out and see my friends today.
Yeah.
Or, I probably shouldn't go out in public where I know there's things that will set me off.
It's particularly rough, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things that it's rough and it's almost draining. But it's so much more, but the benefits outweigh.
Yeah.
Like, if you actually prep yourself, this is a really bad way to put it, but I know a lot of people with, like, diabetes. They have to know, I can't have this, I need to have this. Oh, I'm starting to get, my blood sugar starting to get a little low, I need to fix this. Like, it's like a constant check and balance is what I'm kind of trying to get at. So, like, maybe I could have found a better analogy or better explanation, but it's always checking yourself and fixing it and being like, okay, I noticed this, so we got to do that. And it's so fucking draining. But at the end of the day, you can be happy knowing that you didn't just fucking explode on someone for hardly anything, or you didn't, like, put your depression didn't put you in this huge hole where, you started being weird to other people.
Yeah, and sometimes you can get so stressed out, but you're really trying to, like, tell somebody how you feel, but you're just unloading all this shit onto them, and they don't know what to do with all that. Yeah. Like, and then it just makes it kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Like, then you're just like, fuck, why did I tell you that? Because now you're looking at me different, and you're not trying to, but you are.
And who knows? Maybe they're not. That's one of those things that's always...
It could be just one of those things, like, just that anxiety. Anxiety is a bitch.
Yeah. Like, it's weird, because there's times where I like going out and I like having fun socially, but then I have to have my friends. If I don't have my friends and I go out to, like, a bar, I don't know what to do.
Feels weird.
I only go out to the bars I feel safe at.
Yeah.
Where I've been too many times, so I feel comfortable there.
Yeah.
And then I don't talk to people, so I just sit there like...
I don't go to bars hardly at all.
And I fucking I don't understand how people just go out to bars and then just make friends and talk to people while they're there. And I'm
social butterflies.
I don't get that. I'm just like, I don't know you. Don't talk to me. Just let me drink my Jack and Coke.
On top of, like, having mental issues, I have a practical one why I don't go to bars. I'm a big dude. Most of the time when I go to bars, everyone wants to fucking fight me.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not out of, ooh, I'm scared we're gonna get hurt. It's, dude, I'm not trying to go to fucking jail.
Yeah.
Because I have to beat the shit out of 5 dudes because they're trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Like, and you always... The way I look dictates a lot of things. And people don't think that's true, but it fucking is.
Yeah.
It fucking is. I've been stopped out in front of my fiance's work because I look suspicious. Just waiting for her to get off.
Yeah.
Like, and they can say whatever they want. It's because I look suspicious. They thought I was going to fucking rob the place. Just because I was there for an abnormal amount of time. Because I had nowhere else to go, and I was waiting for my fiance to get off work. Like, I know what the fuck I look like. I know I look like a fucking degenerate to some people. But, like, there just comes a time when you're really fucking tired of it. The way you look really does affect the way people treat you. Oh, yeah. Old ladies fucking growl at me when I open the door for them. Like,
it's a bear.
I gotta speak his language. people like moms will grab their kids out of my way in the store, like,
yeah,
and that takes a toll on my mental health. And maybe not all these times it's really how I think it is. Maybe it's just coincidence.
Yeah.
But
dear God, if Crystal ever gets a black eye, then we got to go out in public. I get the nastiest looks.
Oh my God.
I'm bald. I'm a white, semi-muscular bald man with a goatee. I know what I look like. They're like, this guy.
I get it.
And I'm just like,
she worked at a place. She worked at a place that they thought I put out cigarettes on her. I didn't even fucking smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just this big, mean, abusive guy, is what a lot of people think, you know, because they might have seen me in like a bad time where I'm like manic and just having a really tough time controlling it. I'm not like that 24/7, and I've never laid a fucking hand on my fiance in my life. Not once. She's fucking hit me. But I've never, like, I would never.
Yeah, it's just rough when you look like outside of the status quo. It looks a little weird that people constantly...
I've heard it before. Like, he's big, so you know he must be mean, or like just they think they're afraid of you, so they just think you must be a bad person. Like, it's pretty. The way we judge each other is unfair.
Oh yeah,
but it's like it can be such a involuntary response.
Yeah.
I've done it a lot of times. Like, that guy's small, he must be a pussy. Sometimes ends up being the toughest dude in the fucking room, man. Yeah. Like, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We all have been a victim of that. All of us. Every single one of us have been like, oh, well, he, just like what I said, he's small, he must be a pussy. He's fat, so he must be slow. Dude, I got quick fucking hands. You wouldn't believe it, but like, I don't know, man. Like, oh, he's big, so he must be stupid, or like, it is unfair, the labels we throw at each other. It's an ugly world, and we're all fucking... We've all been hit with a branch off the ugly tree.
People look at me and they're like, hey, he's got a big dick. And I'm like, hey, don't make assumptions, okay?
Yeah.
That's not fair, all right? It's very regular. God. Just because I have that herniated ball, so it just looks like a package. Giant ball. So people are like, hey, and I'm like, no. See this little lump above it? That's my penis. That's what you're... This is just my testicle. I can't fuck anyone with that testicle. I had to break it up, guys. I had to throw in a little...
It was getting serious.
It was getting pretty heavy.
But it is an episode about mental health.
It is. Our mental health and how we see it, not so much a breakdown of what mental health is about.
Yeah, we're not professionals, and we can't tell you how to fix your problems.
We can just tell you how we handle ours,
and we hope that if you are suffering from any kind of mental problem for you, or just any kind of infliction, please get help.
Yeah,
I've been putting it off way too much, and a lot of people are in the same boat I'm in.
Yeah.
Just know you're not alone, and you're not weak because you have a disease.
Nope.
Like,
not at all.
It's not your fault. It's your parents' fault.
Yeah. They're the ones. Blame them.
Blame them.
They're the ones who gave you your genetics. No, but like, just, take care of yourself.
Yeah,
take care of the ones you love. And it's just always about trying your best.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's not always trying your best and trying to be the best you can be, if not today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just because that's the way life gets sometimes.
Yeah, man. And you could be on top of the mountain today and at the bottom the next day and then at the top again like years later.
As long as you keep striving to reach the top, that's what matters.
Yeah.
I think
just keep swimming.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, that's what matters, is always striving for better.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get it, you know what? At least you're not being complacent and staying stagnant. You're trying to be the best you can.
Yeah, and you may know your own potential and know you're not quite there, but that's okay. Like, it's all part of the journey.
Yeah. And that's what this is. It's just a journey, and it's trying to make the journey less miserable. Yeah. And if medicine, therapy, and stuff like that does it for you, then definitely seek that out.
There's a physical aspect of mental health too. Like,
yeah,
I've been neglecting the fuck out of that. Like, I need to play a lot more guitar. I need to work out.
Yeah,
I need to do a lot of things. Like, but at least I recognize these things now, and it gives me a chance to work on them.
Exactly.
And that brings me to the